Welcome back, Benchwarmers. This week we're switching things up a bit.
That's right, Corey. It's a whole new vibe moving forward.
Some might say we're evening things up a bit.
I agree, and now we have some big decisions with my new team.
Our new team.
I'm Corey, excited for the new squad.
I'm Brendan, always late to the podcast.
I'm Nando. I'm still in it to win it, and this is our view from the bench.
Before we get started, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes.
And if you could also please do us the favor, if you like what you see here, please don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash it for us, come on, it's free. It's free for you, it's free for us. Helps out the channel a lot more than you probably think.
Hell yeah.
Gentlemen, before we get started,
Not again.
we have an announcement to make. Normally, we keep the Benchwarmers up on everything that's going on here in the blueprint, but we called an audible this week. We were sitting around hanging out late one night, and I just decided, you know what we need to do? We need to go and reinforce this team. We need to go and get Christian McCaffrey. He's back, and we need to go get him. So we did try.
I was just going to say, wait a minute, did you guys do another trade without me?
No. We did try. It did not go through. But we did a crazy shakeup here. We're just like right in this weird like middle/bottom spot. And we decided to go a little bit crazy and make a big trade. This isn't one of those like we did earlier, a Zay for a running back, just trying to patch up a thing here or patch up a thing there. I'm going to have Nando announce it, and then Corey, I want you to kind of break down a little bit more of why I know Nando's going to add to it here. Nando, can you start just by kind of throwing out who we let go and who we got?
All right. We got rid of Joe Burrow
Hey!
for CJ Stroud.
Okay.
We got rid of Zay Flowers
Oh, we just got him.
for Jacoby Myers.
Not great, but okay.
We got rid of Chris Boswell for
Your
Brendan
favorite
Aubrey.
kicker?
Oh, no, Nando.
And we got rid of Kyron Williams for J.K. Dobbins.
Okay, that one's kind of even, actually. That one's not bad. Now, Corey, I mean, one of the things was besides just like a shakeup, we needed to see if something could happen, right? Because we're just stuck in that middle part. I mean, this is a decent trade, honestly, for both sides. Maybe a little bit more for the person who got our players, but it seems decent, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody, like you said, maybe slightly favored to them, but nothing out of the order, nothing that was over the top, and we just got killed in this trade. Like, we did okay. I think Dobbins is maybe the one that we were a little bit better than him as far as the swapping positions with running backs, because
Yeah.
Aaron didn't have a good game last week, although I think we mentioned before, we don't expect Stafford to throw that many touchdowns every week, but with their offensive line not being very healthy, maybe that does become more of a norm because of what's going on. So we'll have to see moving forward. But overall, I think, like you said, we're more doing so of a shakeup. Stroud hasn't been as good as Burrow all year, obviously, but we needed some other help in other spots. So I think that's kind of what we were thinking overall with this 4-on-4 trade.
Yeah, we're losing Kareem Hunt soon to, Pacheco's coming back. So we're trying to kind of bolster. Yeah, maybe, right? We're kind of trying to bolster up the running back position a little bit more. We're playing the waiver wire so much for wide receivers, we kind of forgot to even pay attention to how we're looking at the running back position. So, I mean, Nando, how do you kind of feel about it overall?
I mean, it's...
Give me like a scale of 1 to 10 on how you feel. 10 being this is the best thing to ever happen. 1 means I can't believe we just did this.
I'm sitting at a 6.
Okay.
I mean, different players, of course, on different teams show different results. If we play the same players every week, especially like Kyron's just a slot in, don't touch, we're hopefully looking for just more potential coming out of what we have.
Mhm.
CJ Stroud and Joe Burrow is a little harder to work with, but
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, it was pretty fair, like you said. Fair being the big part of this.
We liked that.
And even though we did trade these players, we didn't lose that week.
That's right.
We
That's right.
actually had a pretty solid week. We've had a week early in the season that was way worse than this with the players we have now.
Exactly.
So I think even with this new team, we still have potential, especially looking at the standings now, to make those playoffs still.
Perfect. But before we get to the standings, because we do want to show those, we realized actually that we haven't really shown the blueprint standing. We talked about it, we know we have to get to the top 4, but we haven't really shown them this week. But to Nando's point, as he's perfectly segued, though he segued to another segue, week 11, we did play the players that we received in this trade. It was completed, I believe, Friday or Saturday night. So it was just before, Sunday's slate of games. So up on the screen here, you'll see the matchup from week 11. We were playing the guy with the worst team, but for some reason he decided to make sure that he played this week. So he changed up his roster and got as much as he could. And it seemed actually pretty good. We still took home the dub, luckily, as you can see here. But some of our new players kind of cooked for us. Seemingly, Jawan Jennings and J.K. Dobbins were one of the best. But even James Cook, our old reliable, and your tight end, Brock Bowers, came through in the clutch. So that wasn't the best league for some of the new people. Corey, J.K.'s probably the best pickup here. Are you worried about Stroud or anything, or you think that's kind of going to turn around, right?
I'm not worried about Stroud. I think it's just one of those, he had a really good rookie year, obviously, and people start getting the film on you and start to make you do things that you probably aren't really good at and make you do it often, which is what's happening. And Houston has, regressed a little bit from last year. I think the expectations, they kind of caught everybody off guard last year. Now we got to take Houston a little more serious and plan for them a little better with CJ. And also, they've been losing a lot of their weapons. I know Nico Collins was out for a while, so they haven't had all the receivers that they've needed to get him. But hopefully Stroud gets a little bit here pushed because, Houston controls their own destiny as far as having a chance to win the division still and get into the playoffs because Indianapolis is right there. Jacksonville and Tennessee are way at the bottom. So I can't imagine Houston's going to fall completely apart. So hopefully this is the back end of that, and we get CJ kind of maybe even in a playoff mode for the last couple of weeks here because that's what we need for our team at least.
Yeah, exactly. One of the players, that we got, I know that it's a little bit of a sad place for Fernando with the kicker. Brandon Aubrey is a good kicker, so that's why I'm not too worried. The only thing that kind of I didn't think about until after the trade was where the Cowboys' offense is. So we didn't necessarily lose on talent. Nando, I know you're crying, bro. I'm sorry. I'll send a tissue towards you, to your way. Brock Bowers, rip, best kicker. But he's not dead, guys. Just so we're all on the same page. We just traded him. But Brandon Aubrey, again, he had a 50-yarder. He actually had a 60-yarder that he made. But there was a penalty on the Texans, so they got a first down, and they continued, and then it didn't really matter. I think they either scored or I think they turned the ball over because the Cowboys are just bad. Yeah. So he can kick. But this is our first week without Boswell, and it kind of is showing already, Nando, right?
It was a 24-6 difference. It was a 4 times difference, but it's okay.
It's okay. We're going to try to make this through. Make sure you guys stay tuned throughout all the Blueprint series. We're riding this one to the end. We got some more information for you guys all the way at the end, so make sure you guys stick with us. But this is where we're at right now. It was not a bad week. Not
at all. I think overall, especially, I'm so glad you ended up going with Cook. I was telling Nando earlier before you got on, we were prepping. I was like watching the game with my parents on Sunday, and he scored, and I was like, did we end up putting the starting? I hope he played him.
He scored twice, so He scored quick. He scored the first 2 touchdowns of the game, and I was like, I swear if Nando didn't put this fool in, and he played somebody else just in case. So it was a good one. Here we are, though. Here's the standings after 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Where are we at? 11 weeks? I don't remember anymore. After a certain amount of weeks, wherever we're at, as if you've been following us, you'll know exactly what week we're in. We're actually all the way in 7th place. But as you can see, we got the same record as the guy in 4th. The only reason why we're in 7th is because we have less points. So technically, we're kind of in it, right?
Yeah. We're only 22 points behind, so it's not like we're way back and we have no chance of catching them.
Exactly. Any given Sunday.
Seeing as we're in week 1, we're seeing that we have potential here for the next 14 weeks to come by to catch up to those players.
It's true.
And we're not far behind with a new team still.
Exactly.
So I'm saying we got that chance. Slotting in next week's players too.
Not only do we have a chance at 4th, we're really only 2 wins behind the number 1 seed. So anything can happen. We could still even climb up a little bit higher than just 4th if we have a nice little run here going into it.
Agree. The main thing I want to do, depending on how far we go, it doesn't really matter. 2 things. 1, we've already accomplished. Nando has avoided the punishment for last place.
Oh, nice.
Check that off the list. The second thing is still pending. It's hard, but we want to make the playoffs. What happens in the playoffs, honestly, is up to anything, but getting in is the key. Top 4 teams make it. We're still on the grind. So, with that being said, let's show you where we're standing for week 14 or 12. What week are we going into? Week 12. Here we are, week 12. We're switching up. I know you've been wanting to play this guy. In fact, you regret not playing him last week, Nando, at the quarterback position. Yep. We just recently acquired CJ Stroud, who's a great quarterback. But fantasy-wise, who's doing better for us right now? Well, for us, as in he's sitting on our bench, but is now sitting on the starting lineup, as everyone can see. Who we running with, Nando?
Bo Nix, the rookie QB, especially going against Vegas, my team. We want to lose, so Bo Nix can take that win for his team. Denver has a great defense in general, so we're most likely going to lose again.
Yeah.
And
it's okay though. You're kind of fighting for the bottom. You and Corey are both fighting for number 1 pick.
Yeah, let's go Titans. Keep losing.
No, we're gonna get that number 1 pick. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that QB.
Each other, then we'd really see who the worst of the two are.
True, very true.
We'd know who it was, Corey. Okay, you for sure get the pick if we were to play you.
Exactly.
But yeah, we have Bo Nix playing this week, so hopefully it goes great. Juwan Jennings, even though he's not is he still considered the number 1 wide receiver on the team?
Yeah, if Deebo Samuels plays that week, because Ayuk's already out, he's technically the number 1, and depending on who you ask and which week, he's out for the season. So to your point, if Deebo's in, then he's maybe not. But Deebo's such a weird grab bag type of player. He's like a running back and a wide receiver. If you were to ask me currently, I would say Juwan Jennings is the number 1.
Well, he has still seen the number 1 amount of targets. I think second-ish. But playing just barely more than McCaffrey, which is good for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing more attention for him still. They're still trying to warm McCaffrey back up, so hopefully getting more potential out of that.
You got 20 for us last week, right?
Yes.
That's a good
McCaffrey
play,
got
Nando.
12. Josh Downs, and I wanted to play him too. I wanted to play him. You were against that.
Did. No, you did.
You were also with Cook, so we're even.
Yeah, 1 for 1.
There we go. Nice, 1 for 1.
Playing Josh Downs this week, I should have played him last week. My brother kind of talked me out of it.
Yeah, because you were super on it, bro. That's who was on our lineup for the matchup. Don't listen to him.
I was really on about it because he's had some good plays.
Exactly.
My brother has made some good choices on players that we typically like. Let's not play him.
But Josh Downs is also the number 1 wide receiver, and now that Anthony Richardson, right?
Yes.
He's back. He's doing pretty well.
Got
the
Dobbins.
One that I'm kind of curious about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, bro. I didn't know you were. Go ahead.
You continue.
The only one I was going to say is the one that we're kind of up in the air right now is Kareem Hunt. As you can see, he's only projected for 3 points this week. Corey, we read it a little bit before about Pacheco. It sounds like he may not play, and even if he does, it might be reduced. So we still might run with Hunt?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the plan here. He was supposed to come back last week, and then Friday, I think they decided, no, we're not going to push it. And now that they're playing Carolina this week, who's not the greatest, obviously, and for Kansas City, you're not worried about them. So if there's no reason to push and force him to come back early when you know you're going to be obviously playing in January and beyond, and you have Kareem Hunt who's been serviceable, if not better than this entire period, then just let Kareem Hunt play another game and then push it another week. Like you said, worst case, if they do bring Pacheco back, it's not like they're going to throw him back in there and have
for
him
a full workload.
30 games, or 30 times. So he should come in and maybe do, I don't know, if he does play, I would say 10, maybe 12. And at that point, it's more just to get him back into the rhythm of a game, not necessarily expecting a lot of results out of him, I would think. So we're going to hope Kareem Hunt continues to do his thing, and then the Chiefs offense can hopefully keep rolling, although they didn't have the greatest week last week. But
in Buffalo, Buffalo's like Super Bowl, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Opponent does matter, where they were and everything. I get it. So hopefully they're back on their run this week. And again, Carolina's not that good. So
true. And Nando, if for some reason, as we see towards the end of the week, that Pacheco's going to play and he's going to have a full workload, what are we thinking to slate in there instead of Hunt if he doesn't get that nod?
So we can slot in Nick Chubb from the Browns.
Yeah,
he hasn't been showing up as much, but a few points makes a big difference compared to what Kareem can really get. And that's if they split the workload or not. And I hope even if they split the workload, he'll still see more attention. So that's a debate either way to play on.
So that's probably the only question mark I think we've got. We were also kind of torn with the flex position. Do we play Jacoby Myers, who is projected for more, but they're playing Denver defense? We already have Brock Bowers, but this is looking pretty good so far. We're projected to lose, but I think it's really only because of like the Kareem Hunt, and Bo Nix is projected lower than Lamar Jackson, obviously the number 1 fantasy tight end in football. This isn't impossible. This guy's in 9th place. Just because you're projected for a lot doesn't mean anybody actually shows up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I was telling Nando earlier before you got on, we were talking about it. If for some reason we go into Monday night and Lamar Jackson obviously is last because it's the Harbaugh Bowl in LA this week.
Mm-hmm.
If we're up big, then we just got to hope the Chargers contain Lamar and don't let him get out of control. But if it's close going into Monday night, then we just got to hope he really has a terrible game. But we'll see what happens over the weekend.
Agree. Does it say that it's supposed to rain? Bro,
Yeah.
it's a dome. Who
I
cares?
know. Well, it's a dome, but it's not a dome. I mean, you
Yeah,
won't
it's got
get on the field.
walls that have holes.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's not like gonna be that wet on the field, I don't think.
Unless it's a sideways crazy wind with it, I can't imagine it's going to really affect the game that much.
It's LA. There's no such thing as sideways. Well, people, but not rain. So this is what we're kind of heading into, week 14, 13, 12, whatever week we're heading into. You guys know it's the NFL season. Just pay attention to that. So how you guys feel? I mean, I'm kind of, up in the air about the trade. Again, we've got a lot more to discuss down the road. But I'm like with Nando's tag. We're not giving up. We're not giving up.
Definitely not. Like I said, I think we just decided to change it up a little bit, maybe get some new mojo in there because we're right there. We're so close. We've been dealing with this wide receiver issue all season. The fact that we're still in it and this close to a 4th spot, I think, is fantastic. Wow, have we struggled with this wide receiver issue all year?
Yeah, no, very true. Very true. Can't say you're lying there. So, Nando, any last words, my friend?
I feel confident this week still.
Okay, good. We need a dub, and I think you looked at it in the standings that were up. If 2 of the people that are ahead of us are playing each other, so as long as we win, we're moving up at least 1 place from 7th to 6th based on win loss.
Points,
could be more.
Points, a lot more.
Hell yeah.
Very true. Very true. So, all right. Well, appreciate everybody for stopping by. Thank you. Let us know in the comments below. Is this a good trade or not? Did we mess up?
Or do you think we have a chance to climb up in the standings and actually make the playoffs? Or are we going to be on the outside of the playoff bubble looking in when it comes down to it? Let us know on Instagram or Twitter at RVUFTB or comment here down below on YouTube.
Exactly. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Thank you as always for seeing things from our view from the bench. I'm Brendan.
I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace.
Love and positivity.
This was a Sycamore 4th Studios production.